Good morning, science fiction and fantasy fans. My name is Paul. Welcome back to A Common Touch of Fantasy. Today is August 30th, 2017. Today I'm reviewing Food of the Gods by Cassandra Khaw, the short stories The Ache of Home by Maurice Broaddus, The Lamentation of Their Women by Kai Ashante Wilson, and some comic books too. So let's start out with Food of the Gods by Cassandra Khaw. This is two novellas put together into one book. This was great. It's fantastic. It is urban fantasy with a horror, dark fantasy feel to it. There's a lot of like gore and stuff in this. If you're not into that, you probably wouldn't like it as much. It's basically about this cannibalistic chef that works for ghouls, and he gets stuck in the middle of deities and pantheons of deities, the Malaysian deities, the Chinese, the Greek deities, and just craziness happens in his life. It's focused around Malaysia, and our author is from Malaysia herself, so it brings an authenticity to the work that really is great, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. He goes to London and he gets messed up with the Greek gods, and the Greek gods it goes all crazy at that point with the amount of gods trying to kill him and him being in the middle of everything. It's just fantastic. Cassandra Khaw writes extremely well. She uses words that I have no clue what they mean. I look them up in the dictionary. She uses adjectives and adverbs, probably the best of anyone that I've read so far this year. And I think she has an amazing career ahead of her. I do think that the transition scenes need to be better. I also think that adding too many characters sometimes is a bad thing. Adding too many deities is kind of, a bad thing at times, because it gets really messy with all these different people. And as a not a hugely experienced reader myself, I can't really separate all the characters when they're just thrown at you within a few pages. Okay, but overall, I thought this was really good. I give it a 3 out of 5. I enjoyed it, but I thought the second novella dragged a little bit, and it was a lot more messier than the first one, just because there's so many characters, so many deities. But Cassandra Khaw is definitely someone to look out for in the science fiction and fantasy community. She's a great short story writer as well, and I really like her work. I read Hammers on Bones recently. It was really good. And she has a new novella called A Song for Quiet coming out in that Hammers on Bones series, and I'm looking forward to reading that too. Moving on to the short stories, The Ache of Home by Maurice Broaddus is a short story from Uncanny, issue number 17, and this was really fantastic. It is about this black girl that she's not putting up with anything. These people are really bothering her, and she ends up going home one night after being harassed by a bunch of men, and some guy shows up at her house, and she's like, "Oh, who's this now?" And this guy, he has all these tattoos all over him, but she trusts him because he said a couple nice things before, and he showed that he can be trusted in the past. So they have dinner together, and this guy can take tattoos off his body, and basically what he takes off his body, the tattoo becomes that actual thing in real life. So he has like dice on his body. He takes them off and he can throw the dice. It's really cool. And some other guy shows up, right? And he is the personification of famine, one of the 4 horsemen of apocalypse or whatever. And he's basically trying to strangle her neighborhood by putting in this huge supermarket. This was really good. I liked this. It talked a lot about a lot of social issues that are going on in our world today, and I thought it was fantastic. The second story is The Lamentation of Their Women by Kai Ashante Wilson, and once again, this features a black protagonist, or antagonist, I guess. A guy and a girl. This is a very raw, very explicit story, and these people end up basically doing revenge on the police. This is Kai Ashante Wilson's anger, his hate-filled short story about what is happening to his people in America with the police. And basically, this is natural-born killers targeting the police. It's controversial. It's ridiculous. It's unforgettable. I loved it. People are going to hate it. People are going to love it. It's going to be talked about a lot. I liked it a lot, though. Tomorrow's story will be The Worshipful Society of Glovers by Mary Robinette Kowal from Uncanny 17. The links to that will be in the description box below. For comic books, I read Batman number 27. This is an interlude of the War of Jokes and Riddles interlude. And I'll be honest with you. When you have interludes during a story arc, it's not good. And this was not good. So I'm hoping that the next issue will be good. But that cover is really cool. It's the Riddler messing with the Joker. Basically, it's a Riddler versus Joker story arc. But that interlude was stupid. Here we go. Start of the new story arc of Descender, Rise of the Robots by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. Loved it. Fantastic art as always. Let me see if I can show you guys something here so that won't spoil like everything. So good. Absolutely love it. I'm loving the idea in this new arc with the war between everyone, the UGC and the robots, and things going crazy. Absolutely loved it. Can't wait to read the next issue, actually. For tomorrow, I'm going to be reading some things I picked up really cheap. So we have Platona, sure, by Jeff Lemire, Emmy Lennox, and Jordi Belair. And then we have Drifter, issue number 1, by Ivan Brandon and art by Nick Klein. So these two will be for tomorrow. Some number 1s I picked up for $1 each. And hopefully they are good. Okay, that is all for me today. I hope you guys have an amazing Wednesday. I'll talk to you tomorrow with my thoughts on Heir of Navran, the beginning of that, and reviewing The Worshipful Society of Glovers by Mary Robinette Kowal. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.